and that makes it
Wow.
pretty interesting.
No, it does, and I think one of the biggest eye-opening statements or sentences that you write on the AI dilemma is how, again, and you stress it out now, is how we believe we have the choice, but again, I think, and for myself too, unconsciously, I always catch myself trying to get the path of least resistance, getting the job done, and we don't see how big of a leeway we have given to these technologies, for example, in our really big decisions in life. For example, you touch on dating apps and how we've basically outsourced choosing our potential life partner to a machine that gives us based on our likes and dislikes and preferences and not a pool of pictures that we make a decision on. Again, not all people do use it for that, but a lot of people use it to find a potential mate. And the results, I mean, sometimes they speak for themselves. It's good and it's bad. There's sources that say that people who meet on these dating apps last longer than real life. Others say they don't last like that much, and it's it's really interesting. And for my generation, for Generation Z, this is the primary source of meeting people, because like you say, back then we had these I would say like this net of life. We had the community, we had religious institutions, we had our hobbies, all of those things. And nowadays, most people find themselves caught up in work or resting. And so we've used these technologies to try to catch those little glimpses of life, so to say, Art. But that was a preamble just to emphasize that I really appreciate your ideas, and they do make me think. And I think it's a perfect way of if you don't want to add anything on that huge thing that I said, I could ask my question.
Well, I'll take the bait. Um, so you didn't mention people having relationships with bots, and that's
Mm,
even another wrinkle in this, that that is truly the path of least resistance. And
wow.
one of the AI Act's prohibitions is bots that pretend to be people, therapists, love interests, friends. It's okay if they tell you they're AI, but not if they don't. And I agree with that. I do think, the prospect of choosing a mate has always involved serendipity. And to me,
Mm,
which family you were born into, somewhere out there, if you're one of those people who believes there's one soulmate for you out there somewhere, um, you're relying on a lot of serendipity to find that person. But most of us, I think, recognize that we're making decisions about who to be with and for how long based on who we run across. It's always consensual, even if it's not consensual. In a way, it is, because you never have the person's true heart and soul. Um, I know I mean, I'm glossing over a lot when I say that, so I acknowledge that. But if what you care about is who am I going to consensually spend my life with, as friends, as lovers, as life partners, um, it's always a mess. I think I I think you can make a case that it's less of a mess, even though the apps are a mess and can be superficial. Um, that's a mess that's continually being tweaked and reorganized and reworked on. Um, Whereas traditional society, it was who your parents were and who they arranged for you to marry. So it's kind
mm,
of it depends on what you're comparing it to. I do think that the illusion of choice suggest we want seamlessness, we want frictionlessness. I do. I've spent a lot of my life craving and seeking situations where I didn't have to make a lot of difficult choices, that they would just be made for me. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I think I took it to a bit of an extreme. And I had to, when I realized how unhealthy it was for me personally, that took a long time and a lot of pain. Um, I think now we're being asked to take on a level of heroism. We, people in Western society, let's even say people above a certain economic level, because, if you're living at a subsistence level, you're really concerned about survival and understandably so. But if you're beyond that, then what am I going to do with my life? What's important to me? And beyond that, who do I want to be? That question can be answered by just following the track. With AI, it can now be answered in a lot of other ways, even more than the other choice-giving technologies we had before. And so, I sometimes think that, action movies are a way for us to delegate the emotional work of heroism to someone else.
Wow.
And we may not have that luxury anymore. We may have to actually become heroes in our regular lives.
That reminds me. Probably gonna botch the book. I think it was by Ernest Brandt. I think it was. I'm gonna put the link in the notes because I'm forgetting the name of the book. But like you say, it connects with an idea that I've had, that nowadays, with the world that we're living in, almost like being virtuous and having sense of agency in deciding by oneself is almost like becoming a hero. And these machines, AI machines, while they pose the potential of being our Robin to our Batman, they at the same time can become the Batman of our Robin by making the illusion that we're driving the choices. And